Alright, well here it is. I know it's been a while since I made any type of video, but I've been kind of busy lately, and I figured, well, I got some time, might as well make a video here. So, in the Power King video, last tractor video I had up, I mentioned something about getting a 125, and here it is, in its final restoration stages as of now. You can see it has a 120 panel on there. It's what the dude gave us, so that's alright. But anyway, so this is a Ford LGT 125, Kohler 12 horse K301 motor in it, which runs fine. If I can get the hood open here. See it there? Nothing fancy. So I got this thing for 125 bucks, which was pretty good. It's got a hydrostatic rear end, and I got my 23 by 10.5 wheels on there, or tires on there, and they're calcium filled with chains for the winter, which it is now. So everything I did to get this back in running condition was a simple oil change. Let me see if I can remember. Oil change. I put a fresher spark plug. It's not new. I just had a relatively new one sitting around. Put that in there. Put a battery I had laying around in it. Came in and put a new filter in for the hydrostatic transmission. Changed the fluid out. New gear oil. And that was pretty much it. Other than, I had to put my points off my 120 on here, since the 120 is back in storage or whatever, just not being used now since it needs new valve guides. But I put new points on this. They're new on the other tractor. Cleaned the carburetor. I think I actually might have rebuilt the carburetor. Rebuilt the carburetor and had to do a couple different put some new wires on it. The wire running through the points was bad. It had a big cut in the center of it. And then I thought it was pretty much done there. It was running good, and I knew it wasn't charging. And I thought maybe just the amp meter was bad, but because I got probably 20 starts on it, and it still didn't kill the battery or drain it down any. So I did some research into that, and it was either the stator or the regulator. So I tried the regulator off the 120, or the rectifier, whatever you want to call it, and I put a new connector on there since this one was broken for the most part. I thought it might have been there, and I traced it back, and it was a key switch. The wire was hanging off the key switch the whole time, so that's pretty embarrassing. But anyway, it charges now. It charges really good, and so mechanically it's fine. Got my new panel on there. Like I said, I had to build some rubber mounts for that on the bottom, so it wouldn't ride all around because it didn't have any mounts or studs on the bottom for it to connect. Let's see if I can show you. I had to put these 3 springs I had laying around in here. Let me see if I can get this off. I had to cut these, and I didn't cut them big enough. Maybe I can. Anyway, I put new rubber mounts on there, so that's that. Paint wise, this fender set here was really bad. Originally, I believe they were supposed to be white, and this was completely rusted up. And most of the whole thing underneath the seat and around some of the back of the fender looked like this right here. You can see how that's deeply pitted up with rust. So I went and I took a wire wheel on my grinder over there, one of those big grinders I got, and I just took the whole thing down to bare metal or whatever, rust. And then I just took this bed liner, Rust-Oleum bed liner in a can, basically. You can hear it has a rough surface, so that kind of blends it in, and it actually looks pretty good. It's black, and I had some engine paint. I just did a little Ford. That looks kind of bad, but that's beside the point. The brake was sticking. I fixed that. Now it just needed some PB blaster on it. And then underneath, got the stuff. It's called I don't know if you can see underneath there too well. It's called wax oil. It's basically an undercoat, and we had a whole bunch of it left over from a project a long time ago, and it's just this rubberized undercoating, nasty stuff, but it does the job real well. Put it on all our lawnmower and underneath the mower decks. So that's that. And I also had to make my own mounts for this as well, because this didn't have nothing. The bolts were broken, so I just got these bushings. Just had laying around, and I cut them, and I actually just wire tied them on there since I couldn't get a bolt to fit properly. So that's that. And then winter time's coming around. This is going to be my plow machine, because I want to see what it's like to plow snow with a hydrostatic instead of a gear drive. So I got the plow on this one instead of the 120, and I also had to move this plow mount over. Not plow mount, but this piece right here. You can see it's just 4 bolts, and this one didn't have it. So I just took it off the other mower. That's just for an implement, mower the deck or the plow. So, like I said, it was the gonna be the plow machine. I rarely ever plow when it's dark. I don't need to, but I figure why not. So Harbor Freight had these lights here for 14 bucks. Came with a switch and everything. So I ran them, and I knew what was gonna happen. Because this only has a 15 to 20 amp charging system, it's closer to 15, and these lights are 55 watts apiece. So it has to go full throttle, and it only charges at like 3 amps, or barely keeps up with these lights on. So that's why I put them in the back, because I probably won't use these as much, but I'll turn them on here for you. I'm planning on getting some of them cheap LED spotlights like I got on my truck for the front, since they won't take as much. And also, the switch they gave me is square, and I didn't feel like drilling into this plastic because I like these dashboards. You can't find them. So I'm not using the PTO for anything, and the PTO works. So I just hook the lights through the PTO switch here and turn them on. You can see there's a beam right there and a beam right there. I'll step back. See, they're pretty nice lights, but not for a lawnmower. Or maybe if you have an alternator, they'd be all right. But you can see there's the amp draw, key off. Just about 10 amps, so I killed the battery real quick. So that's about it. Actually, I haven't even greased the joints or anything. I haven't greased up here at the steering components and the front axle and all that. I haven't greased none of that yet. So I'll give you a little walk around. The front's pretty busted up here. You can still see I got a $125 tag on there. But everything has its grease fittings and all that stuff, so I should probably do that. I had to put a new fuel line on there and a new fuel filter, but that goes without saying pretty much. So other than that, I'm really digging this thing. I like the hydrostatic transmission, the high and low. Powerful. I do like a gear drive with that first gear, but I put this thing on low and just barely gave her anything, and that's what pulled this car up in here since I'm having motor problems again, but that's another video. So I'm spinning around a lot. And that's all I can think of here. So it's supposed to snow. They say 9 to 12 inches or 2 to 3 feet on Friday. So that's, you know how that goes. So probably won't get anything, but if we do, I'll certainly try to make a video of this thing in action plowing some snow. So